Blog Talk Radio.
What time is it?
WH Radio.
Welcome back to Wrestling Heads Radio. This is me, Oscar, filling for Skis today, doing the Dodger thing out there. Joining me now, I got Mr. Tommy Not Dreamer himself. Tom, what's going on, Tom?
What's going on, Oscar? Man, what a crazy Raw. We had crazy Money in the Bank, too.
Yeah, we had some returns. We had some character changing. We had a lot to talk about. Wow.
And then we had Bo Dallas, Bo leaving. Just believe, everybody.
Bo, leave. That was a good one by Daniel Bryan. But
speaking of Bo leave, so let's you want to go over Money in the Bank first?
Yeah, Money in the Bank, because it was so yesterday, and we had a show yesterday, so we got to talk about a little bit of Money in the Bank.
Yeah, they're starting off with Bo Dallas. The pre-show for Money in the Bank was Daniel Bryan coming out, telling he doesn't know when he was going to be back in action. And then, sure enough, Bo Dallas comes out and says, Daniel, this, man, it stinks that, you're not in this ladder match. It must be a real pain in the neck. And then he gets in the ring, and he just tells him, you know what? You might not be able to climb the ladder tonight, but you can still climb the ladder of life. All you have to do is believe. And then Daniel Bryan he says, Bo, you're acting like a real boner. And that started a boner chant in Boston last night. And that kicked off Money in the Bank. That was hilarious. Just the look on Bo's face was hilarious. That whole thing was just funny. The pain in the neck comment.
Jesus Christ, and people blowing up fireworks over here. So early. But anyways, the freaking Daniel Bryan did broke the news about he's still not sure when he's going to wrestle. Now, seriously, I mean, I'll take his time. Look, I know I'm going to SummerSlam, and I'm getting to a point where I might not even see him in the ring at all. I could see him doing an appearance, but not going in the ring. But I just read some tweets about Daniel Bryan's condition. Like, some people will say, like, it's better off he comes back at the Rumble and he wins the Rumble. I mean, hey, I'll do it. I mean, I'm going to WrestleMania. I'm planning on it, so if I could see a Daniel Bryan return to WrestleMania, I'm up for it. But before I predict a WrestleMania, or not predict, but what should be a WrestleMania main event, I'll get back to that a little bit later. But then, a lot of people thought the contract Money in the Bank match will be the opener, which it wasn't. I actually got back on time from the Dodger game last night and ended up catching the first match, which it was the Wyatts against the Usos, which I predict an upset, and I was right. The Usos will beat the Wyatts. And you and Skits were going for the Wyatts there, Tom. So
yeah,
that was
the only match. It was the only match I predicted wrong. I thought the Wyatts were going to go over. I thought it was a perfect chance for them to get them over, but it looks like their feud's going to continue. Maybe they'll pick up the belts at Battleground. But I thought this was a good match. I thought it was better than their match at Payback. And they didn't have a match at Payback, but it's been better than what they've done in the past. It was a solid opener. It got the crowd hot.
Yep.
And then there's nothing more to it.
Yeah, I also got some news to talk about the Usos, but before I reveal it, on Raw tonight, they were part of a 6-man tag. They had Sheamus on their corner against the Wyatts, which the Wyatts won the match. But I don't know if you saw, Tom, but I saw this on an official Facebook of NXT, the Ascension watching the Usos. So that's the reason why I picked the Usos to beat the Wyatts, because I knew the Ascension were coming, and they were coming after the Usos. So if the Usos are going to drop the tag belts, I'm sorry, it's not going to be the Wyatts, even though I love the Wyatts. I love Eric Rowan and Luke Harper a lot, but I just
I think they were setting that up that the Ascension were only watching the Usos because they were the tag champs. I think it's just kind of setting up the Ascension coming to the main roster, you know, regardless of who's champion, you know. So maybe it'll be the Usos, you know, maybe, you know, because I don't think the Ascension are going to go right after the tag belt. You know, I think they're going to come in, they're going to dominate for a little bit, and then they're going to get their tag team title shot.
It might happen that way, to be honest with you. I don't like that idea at all, but it might go that way. They're going to go after the tag belt straight out. But me and Skits were talking about this earlier, about possible feuds for the tag belts, and we were talking about possibly, like, you know, did mention that he thinks that the matches, I mean, the Wyatt and Usos feud is going to continue on. But then what about SummerSlam? And we're also hearing about these rumors about the Ascension. I should tell Skits, and I'm going to tell everybody else right now, don't be surprised you see another four-way match at SummerSlam. You know, that's what they do. It just seems like creative is just being lazy and make a storyline for a tag team division. Just like the Diva division, like I said. They just put random-ass shit in bigger pay-per-views, you know, like WrestleMania or SummerSlam. They don't really make a consistent storyline for these big pay-per-views. And I told Skits, don't be surprised you see Usos defend their tag belts against the Ascension, the Wyatts, and Stardust and Goldust. You know, don't be surprised that happens at SummerSlam, because I won't be surprised if I see that match happening. You know, I think I'd just rather see an actual tag match, but fortunately, I wouldn't be surprised that happened, like we just saw at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see what WWE does, because, you know, I never know what they're going to do with that tag division. You know, 1 minute it looks like they're going to do something with it, and then the next moment it's like they completely kill those belts, and it kills all the momentum for any team trying to, like, contend for that. But we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, definitely. The second match in Money in the Bank, which I believe was, if I'm not mistaken, was it the Adam Rose versus Damian Sandow match?
No, before that it was wasn't it Paige versus Naomi?
Who?
Didn't Paige take on Naomi in the second match?
I thought at first, but I thought it was after the Money in the Bank match. But you could be right. It is the Paige and Naomi match, which I thought it was a great match. I don't know about you, but it was a really great match. It was a great match. It's been better than the Divas matches that we've gotten, even though, you know, as I've said, the Paige and Alicia Fox feud was good, and they put on some okay matches. You know, it could have been better. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this was like basically a classic friendly rivalry type feud between Naomi and Paige, but then Paige got the victory, and she retains the Divas title. But on Raw tonight, we'll get to later. Let's just say on Raw, Paige's plans changed a little bit. Let's just keep it at that. Well, I was not actually going to talk about Paige. I was actually going to talk about Naomi, because her and Cameron went at it because they had a handicap match against Nikki Bella, which was set up because there was a little backstage thing with Stephanie and Brie Bella, when Brie Bella was just visiting, and she kicked her out, and Brie mentioned about the whole thing with Stephanie and Vicky Guerrero and the full of shit, you can say. But then that's how Stephanie set up that handicap match on Raw with Naomi and Cameron against Brie, and then I guess Cameron won the pin, and they just got into faces, they were arguing, and it just seems like the Funk and Daxels are going to break up sooner as we know it, and it could be possibly we could see another double Diva match happening at Battleground like we just saw last night in Money in the Bank. So I think we're getting closer to a Funk and Daxels breakup. I don't know if you agree, but I kind of see that happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. And another thing,
I think everybody was expecting this breakup. Hopefully this leads to Naomi getting a push and Cameron kind of fading out and then getting released. That's what I'm hoping.
The Naomi thing, it could get there. Yeah, when we get back to the Raw talk about Paige, we'll get to that part. But then, I kind of agree with you with the Naomi thing. The Cameron, nah, we'll see. I know you're not the only one that's hoping she gets released. I'll tell you that. But anyways, yeah, the third match in the Money in the Bank match was the actual contract with the Money in the Bank, which to me was the best match of the night. I mean, we got to talk about that Seth Rollins back body drop to the other ladder, and he fucking almost broke his freaking neck.
Insane. You know, I knew it was going to be, you know, probably the match of the night because I didn't expect the World Heavyweight title ladder match to be as good as this because there wasn't as many high flyers in it. But this match was just insane.
Yeah.
You know, of course, like you said, you know, him and Kofi were at the top of the ladder, and there was a ladder connecting that ladder to the ring ropes, and Kofi back body dropped Seth Rollins over the ladder onto the connecting ladder, and Seth Rollins just bounced. Like when you drop he just bounced off that ladder, and it just looked crazy. And the good thing about that, just for a split second, I don't know if you can say it. I think you have to say it. You thought there was a chance that Kofi could win.
I
thought, like, just for a split second, you're like, holy shit, is Kofi going to win?
Yeah. Yeah, because remember what you said on Wednesday. You thought Wade Barrett's going to win the damn thing, but then he got injured during the SmackDown taping last week, and he couldn't participate in this match. But then I kind of thought what you said. I was like, wait a minute, man, you got a point there. Wade Barrett could win this thing because we all were expecting Seth Rollins to win it, which he did. But then WWE likes to do a little curveball at us, and maybe that could be that curveball. And then Wade Barrett actually, you know, hurt his shoulder, so he's out for the time being. And there you go, Seth Rollins is your winner. But when I saw Kofi up there, maybe they were to give it to Kofi, but I wasn't expecting Kofi to become WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah, but that's what also it made the match so much better because you thought, you know, there was a chance that Kofi could win. You thought, you know, it's highly unlikely, but there was still that chance that he could possibly win. And it was like, holy shit, are they actually going to do this? And, you know, the people in Boston at the TD Garden, they were freaking out. They were loving Kofi.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And, like I said, if Kofi won, he would not win the title, but I wouldn't like be pissed off about it. So, yeah, they gave it to Rollins, and now it's a matter of time when we will see Rollins cash in the briefcase. But we'll get back to Rollins in a bit and the Money in the Bank briefcase because I want to make a sort of like a little predictions when he's going to cash it in. But we'll get back to that a little bit later. And then the match after which I thought, hold on, before we move on, we forgot to mention one more name. RVD, he still got it. It's like, shit. You know, he's still moving around doing the Rolling Thunder. The guy doesn't miss a step. I mean,
yeah.
How the fuck is he doing it?
Yeah.
You know?
And, you know, we also didn't really mention, you know, Dean Ambrose. You know, everybody, you know, knows the talent that this guy has, but he was just crazy in that match. You know, him and Rollins were fighting at the top of the ladder, and then he gets a superplex to Rollins off of the ladder. And the way they both sold that, it was like they both, you know, just got thrown out of a car. It was crazy.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, I think everybody in that match did their part. Everybody got some spots. Everybody, you thought there was a chance that anybody could win it. But, you know, like I said, it was a great match. Like you said, match of the night. And Seth Rollins, of course, comes out the winner.
Yep. As we all expected. All right. The next match was, what the fuck? He was like a last-minute thing, but it was Damien Sandow dressed up as I forgot the name of it. I'm sorry.
Paul Revere.
People from Boston, huh?
Paul Revere.
Paul Revere. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, people from Boston. I'm not good in Boston history.
That's not just a Boston thing. Paul Revere is one of the most historical figures in American history. Don't you know that story? Paul Revere warning that the British are coming.
Hey, I was back in high school.
Did you pay attention in high school?
Hardly did. But yeah. Hey, but the only thing that excited me in history, the only thing I paid attention to was the 9/11 thing that happened, and it was during my history class when all that stuff happened. So, what unfortunate. But anyways, yeah, he was dressed up as that, and then Adam Rose came out. They had a match with former TNA Knockout as one of the Rosebud, Rosita. She was right there, and you people should, if you guys didn't see this match, and you guys didn't expect a 5-star match, then you're right. It was not a 5-star match. It was just short, and of course, Damien Sandow once again lose. He gets jobbed again, you can say, pretty much. So that'll happen. And also on Raw, this came out straight like Vince McMahon, and he got his ass kicked by Great Khali. So Damien every week getting job week after week. I mean, this is a guy that
at least he's on TV. You know, they're doing something TV. With him.
Yeah, he's on TV.
He's making his money, but it's weird to think that a year ago at Money in the Bank that Damien Sandow won the briefcase for the World Heavyweight title, and a year later he's Paul Revere. Yep,
definitely. And not only that, don't forget about the Rhodes Scholars. Man. And I actually think last year at SummerSlam, I get to see him and Cody had a match together. So, and they had a little program going on there. Match after that, I believe it was the Goldust and Stardust match against Ryback, which, not surprised, Goldust and Stardust won the match, and Skip was the only one to pick Ryback. So for some reason, he thought that they're going to go after the tag belts. I don't know where he got that from, but like I said, they're somehow, for some reason, I think WWE is like high on the Stardust thing. To me, it's like whatever. A little creeped out of it.
I think it's just giving Cody a chance to do something new, kind of freshen him up. You know, I don't know where it's leading. I don't know if, Goldust is going to betray him or if he's going to betray Goldust or what they're going to do. But, Stardust thing, I don't think it's going to last forever.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, if people keep tweeting about it all the time. Stardust. I don't know. They just the guy has a creepy face. I'll tell you that right now. Every time he smiles and all this waka waka. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But anyways, hold on. We already got a caller up in here. I think I know who this is. 909 area code. You're live on Wrestling Heads Radio. Who's speaking?
Yo, it's Bruce.
What's going on, Bruce?
It's the Paper Champ. Yeah.
Paper Champ. We're speaking to the real champ. But
so
anyway,
it looks like we got to have an undisputed championship coming up, basically.
Yeah. We'll talk about that later, but we're talking about Money in the Bank. What happened last night? I know you saw it because we were talking about it on Voxer.
That was some crazy shit. Crazy, but expected.
Yeah, but then we haven't gone through all the matches. We were talking about the Stardust thing. I mean.
Yeah, I was hoping it would get over more. Honestly, I think I was surprised as a bunch of people that it's just not clicking, I guess, with a bunch of the people inside the arena. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say, I see it more like on Twitter and in Facebook, people all over this Stardust thing more than the arena, the crowd. I don't hear no pop or anything, you know?
Yeah, it could just be a smart thing, in all honesty. It could just be anyone who the hardcore followers that really get into it are really into it, but sometimes that's where it starts. Honestly, that's where it begins. And it sounded like today they sounded a little more receptive on the boys, and I know yesterday wasn't really that positive. I just hope it ends up working out because I know that, well, you heard that they're trying to test it out, and if it does good, they'll run with it, right?
Yeah. I mean, they should continue testing out. To me, I mean, we should give it a try. Tom right here seems it's not going to last too long. So
yeah, if based on current reaction, if it keeps the way it does, and if it doesn't get to that next stage of getting over, he's right. They'll just end up canning it. But I hope it does get over. I mean, Cody needs a gimmick that really sticks, and I honestly don't want to see the guys, feud against each other because WWE does that to all brothers. I'd like to see a set of brothers actually stick together, be legit, and not feud. Yeah.
Yeah. There's actually two sides of Cody I liked. The one where he was the pretty boy, you only smoke in mirrors. I kind of like that one. And the where he wore that mask, he was going a little insane. That was my favorite.
The Phantom of the Opera character, yeah.
Yeah, that was my favorite Cody Rhodes character, and he actually liked all that. He wished it would still continue on, even to this day.
I loved, honestly, and I'm with you. I liked more, out of all the characters he's had, I like the Phantom of the Opera character the best. And then, honestly, I have to say second I have to say Stardust, just because it gives him personality. It makes him come off as weird. It throws people off their game. That's what originally the Goldust character was supposed to be. And I found the original Cody just kind of bland. But I think the Phantom of the Opera character was his best, hands down. Best mic work. Yeah. His push, he made the most of it. He stayed injury-free. He had always good matches when he was that character. I think that brought out the best in him.
Yeah, definitely. And he actually beat Rey Mysterio at a WrestleMania there. And
yeah, exactly.
He did. Yeah, and
so that means they were high up on it.
Yeah, we're high up on it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's basically what happened on Raw too. That they pretty much had a rematch, the same old shit like in Money in the Bank. So that's basically what happened. After that match, it was.
Can I ask you something real quick, Oscar, about that rematch?
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously they went over again. Have you ever seen a tag team pay-per-view rematch where the result wasn't different? I don't think so.
No.
Every tag team. I can't remember the last time there's been a tag team pay-per-view rematch the following day when the result came out different. I can never remember that ever happening.
Let me see. I remember when the night after the WrestleMania 14 when Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie beat the Outlaws, and then the next night on Raw they wrestled again, and then the Outlaws beat them back. But ever since then, I don't recall. But if anybody that's listening, either call us at 760-454-1107 or tweet us at WrestlingHeads if there was a time between 1998 and today, which if there was a tag team rematch that went on. I don't know honestly if that counts because they started off a faction from that tag team. You know, and so that's when the new DX came together, and that's when it just, you know. Well, that's actually how it all started. Because, remember, it was Triple H and X-Pac that helped the New Age Outlaws beat Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie.
Right, and so that, I don't know if I would qualify and say, yes, that counts because that was the start of a faction. If it's just two tag teams going against each other, you're going to have to go back farther than WrestleMania 14.
I mean,
you know what I mean? If it's just tag teams, if you don't include a faction into it, with that exception that you mentioned, it's.
Well, I always thought the Outlaws are always been a tag team, but like I said, it was a moment that happened. I mean, there was a moment that needs to happen, like the Shawn Michaels thing. Shawn Michaels had to leave, pretty much, so people got to form a new DX, and I bet you that whole New Age Outlaws and X-Pac thing was a last-minute thing because of the Shawn Michaels injury. So then, so then when they started to form that, they did it on a perfect time where you can have Cactus Jack turn into Do Love the next week because he pretty much did it to kill off the Cactus Jack character.
Yeah, I get it.
You got to remember that.
I totally follow you, but I guess I'm trying to find out where two tag teams just got involved. And, that was two tag teams, but it also ended up becoming a faction getting involved. If you want to just include two tag teams and then they did a follow-up TV rematch of a pay-per-view match and there is no faction being involved, you have to go back even farther. And I don't know why they keep giving us those stupid-ass throwaway matches all the time because they're going to do the same thing after Battleground. They'll do the same thing again after, Night of Champions and SummerSlam, and it's going to be the same old shit. But we'll call it out right before the pay-per-view, or we'll call it out on Raw, saying the same old thing.
Yeah. I will see what happens in the next couple of weeks. But, back to Money in the Bank from last night. The next match after that was Rusev against Big E, which we all expected Rusev to defeat Big E. To me, I don't know what, but to me, I feel like this is Rusev's best match since he's been in the main roster. Because it felt like Big E gave him a challenge, a little push there, And it looked like he got out to that the finisher, but he actually didn't. He just bent it back more, and that looks sick, by the way. And there you go. Rusev is still dominant, and they're trying to do something with them. We obviously know they're trying to do the Umaga Vladimir Kosov push on him. I just hope it doesn't end up like them. But, they just continue on with Rusev with this crazy-ass streak he's having.
Yeah, you have to also give it up to Big E. I mean, Big E has the size and the strength to keep up with Rusev, really.
Yeah. Yeah, he does. And but also, maybe we should talk about this, Tom, on Raw tonight. There was a little turn, you can say, when Rusev came out with Lana, running about the United States, and then all of a sudden you hear Jack Swagger's music, and you have Zeb Culture coming out, and then he just pretty much they're sick and tired of hearing them running them out for America. So the Jack Swagger came out with a serious look, and then he basically Zeb Culture said that Jack Swagger should be his next opponent, which Jack Swagger ended up kicking his ass, and then it was over. I mean, that crowd was over, especially when Zeb Culture told the crowd to put your hands in their heart and that's a botch. That was a botch right there. That was the botch.
We, the people.
There we go.
The people. We, the people.
Yeah, there you go. We, the people. The crowd was really into that. I mean, I always wanted to see a Jack Swagger face turn for a while, but hey, the crowd got over it in the first night. What you guys thought?
I thought this was perfect timing. Finally, people still, once Cesaro broke away from Swagger and Zeb, they were still chanting "We the People" whenever Zeb and Swagger would go out. So obviously they were still sort of behind them. And, now they're even more behind Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter. And Jack Swagger didn't do anything. He stood there and attacked Rusev. That's all he did. And, I think it's a good matchup because, Jack Swagger's a good, technical wrestler. He's a good grappler. He could, go in there with Rusev. They could do certain things. Let's just hope that Jack Swagger doesn't throw Rusev into a barricade.
Pop out his shoulder, curtailing his push.
Yeah.
Hey, Tom, would you call that reckless by Jack Swagger, because of how he did it to Barrett twice on the same shoulder?
You can't really blame Jack Swagger fully. I think the way he kind of threw Barrett, he didn't allow Barrett to have enough time to kind of turn. So I can't blame Jack Swagger completely. It was sort of his fault, but some of the fault could be, blamed on Barrett for not, properly turning all the way. And it's also an accident. Accidents happen. You could be the safest guy in the business, and, one time you could just, your hand slips or, you do a move wrong and you could injure somebody. It was just unfortunate timing that, something like this happened before Money in the Bank. And, this has happened before with Barrett. Barrett's gotten hurt before Money in the Bank now twice. So it's like how many times is this going to keep happening? So, what happens, what WWE needs to do in the future is the Raw and SmackDown before Money in the Bank, make sure you only do, inside the ring stuff. Don't go outside the ring. Don't throw people in the barricades. Don't do anything, stupid. Just kind of keep it tame. Let it build up for Money in the Bank, and then you can go all out.
Yeah, definitely. And the good thing about this Jack Swagger face turn, that there's a lot of you can say options you can do. Like example, after the Rusev feud, you can have him go against Cesaro, continue on, where the time when he left him. You could bring that up. You can also, whenever Wade Barrett comes back, you can have him go after Swagger for revenge for the shoulder injury. So you got a lot of options there for Jack Swagger and his face turn. So then, so far it's a good start between Jack Swagger and his face turn. And this is one thing we forgot to mention about Wade Barrett. Not participating at the Money in the Bank. They announced today that he's going to be out for quite a while, and he is getting his Intercontinental title strip. So they announced for Battleground that that there's going to be a battle royal for the Intercontinental title. Whoever wins this battle royal is your next Intercontinental champion. So there you go. So that sucks for Wade Barrett because it seems like they're really pushing this guy, and all of a sudden, there you go, got injured. And that's good. The last time we heard about it. So.
Hopefully this is the last one. Hopefully he'll take extra time off to build up that shoulder even stronger because it does have a history of shoulder injuries. So the longer that he stays away and the stronger that he builds it back up, the less tendency he'll have to damage something in the shoulder again. But you did mention, hey, on the bright side, this actually gives us a reason to care about Jack Swagger, and not in a bad way.
Yeah.
And, I think, people are concerned because, this kind of stops Bad News Barrett's push a little bit, because WWE seemed like they were, pretty high on the guy. He was Intercontinental Champion. He was out on Raw every week. He was doing all these different things, and then, in a blink of an eye, he's injured and he's not on Raw. I'm not too worried that he's just going to be kind of thrown back into the mix and forgotten about. I think he's going to come back, better than ever. I think, something's going to happen. I don't know what it's going to be, but then it's going to be a promo on Raw, and then all of a sudden his music's going to hit. People are going to go crazy. I have faith that they're going to continue to push, Bad News Barrett, hopefully. I
you don't
think
it's going to be like a Ziggler?
WWE.
You don't think it's going to be like a Ziggler issue? They give him a couple chances, give him a couple pushes. He gets hurt every time he gets a push.
It could be, but there's differences with Barrett and Ziggler. Ziggler has had out of the ring issues. He's been very outspoken in interviews. He's been outspoken, in social media against WWE and certain things, and kind of making himself and the WWE look bad. You don't hear that with Barrett. Barrett's a pretty quiet guy. On social media he talks, about football, and, he talks about, bad news and all that. And when he does his interviews, he never talks badly. He always does a good interview. So I think it's, it's two sides. They are concerned that he is a little bit injury prone, but they realize that he has, a good attitude and he's not a troublemaker. So I don't think it's going to be the same situation as Ziggler. Plus, a concussion is a lot more serious than a separated shoulder.
Yeah.
That was Ziggler's second concussion, and, something like that in the WWE is taken very seriously. A separated shoulder, that happened.
Yeah, I mean, it seems that not only the WWE, even in football, too, they really take concussions very, very seriously, a lot of
because a separated shoulder, it heals. It heals completely. It does do a little bit damage on your shoulder, further down the line. But what concussions do to your brain down the line in your life, and what it possibly could have done to Chris Benoit, what it's done to other people, it's just concussions taken a lot more seriously. So that's the main difference between Barrett and Ziggler.
There was a lot of fear going on. I mean, not only Chris Benoit in the WWE world, but look in the football world. Junior Seau, look what he did. I mean, man, the WWE and the NFL they just take this seriously. They change so many rules. Like WWE, they banned some moves. They even banned the pile driver. And
do you know who helped? Go ahead.
Huh?
Keep going, Oscar.
No, I'm saying even in football, they even changed. Like some ways you could tackle. You can't even touch the quarterback in the head, so it's a lot of rules that have been changing from both WWE and the NFL. What were you going to say, Bruce?
I was going to say, do you know who helped bring on a lot of that new safety within the last 10, 15 years?
In the NFL or WWE?
Both.
Well,
there's one guy primarily responsible for it.
You say
I wouldn't say Chris Benoit.
No, Chris Nowinski. He used to be in NCAA football, and he also is a Harvard graduate. And because of him, and teaming up with Harvard Sports, with also the Concussion Institute, their studies, because of what curbed Chris Nowinski's career, have caused huge changes over the sports industry, including football, hockey, and in wrestling, but more so wrestling and football, because that's Chris Nowinski's background. And because of that, you have so much more protection that you didn't have years ago before, about companies going out of their way to protect their investments, which Chris Nowinski was trying to basically say, you don't do this for an awesome factor, you do this to look at it as a money-making or money-saving factor. And I'm glad now that we do have longer...
The most important thing is, Chris Nowinski, I forgot all about that, how big of a part he's played in this. But
and no one knows about it.
Another sad part about this whole thing has been, suicides, has been the link between, brain damage from concussions and, suicides. And it's, it's an unfortunate statistic, but, it's happened, and, people are linking, the two together, and it's, it's really a shame. But, we're making a lot of progress, I would say, because of Chris Nowinski, and, we're in a much better place, I would say, than, 10 years ago.
Yep. Now we have concussion tests after severe drops on the head. Yeah. I mean, that probably saved, that probably saved Ziggler's life, in all honesty. And your common fan, and a lot of us don't really know, like how bad some of Ziggler's concussions, but we know that he has a tendency to have recurring concussion syndrome, as well as, hey, they're trying to stop him or hold him back from himself because his brain has a tendency to get really damaged or injured easily. Okay, I get that. A lot of us get that. Granted, it sucks that they can't push him farther than they want to, and a lot of us always complain about, people are getting injury prone. But like you said, there's one thing that's the difference between a shoulder being dislocated and having concussions. So I'm glad that they're giving both some time to heal. I guess I'm just kind of sad that that's just the way the cookie crumbled for Ziggler, because they have to hold him back on purpose. Tough break for both of them.
Yeah, definitely. It's like, get back to Money in the Bank for a second. That was a good concussion talk anyway. Okay, we were on the...
We're on Now we're on Summer Rae versus Layla with Fandango as a special guest referee.
Yeah.
I just wanted to point out, before the match started, Fandango's in the back getting interviewed. I think it was by Tom Phillips or Byron Saxton, either or. And Summer Rae and Layla come in, and they start telling Fandango why they're better. And they were getting pretty not PG. Summer Rae was talking about her legs, and then Layla was talking about her tits, and then Summer Rae was talking that she has natural tits. I was like, whoa, this is not TV PG right here.
Well, quote unquote pay-per-views, they don't really have to go PG all the way, but yeah.
No, but he does bring a point.
Been very, very on the edge of PG, pushing that line.
Okay, and I'll continue that one step further. What did you see them promote today? What kind of product placement did you see that was not kid-friendly?
Twisted Tea.
Exactly. Alcohol. When is the last time you see him ever promote alcohol?
Some kid is going to be like, Mom, I want Twisted Tea.
Can I have
the mom's
some
going to be like, no way. What are you talking about? That's alcohol. But he's going to be like, but the WWE is promoting it. Adam Rose is drinking it, and so is Santino. I want to drink it.
Yeah. All right. Now, so basically
that whole thing pissed me off, that whole product placement, because the one negative, we haven't gotten to the full Raw discussion, but from Raw tonight, there were so many ad placements. It was killing me. Not even just commercial breaks, but the whole Twisted Tea thing. I like to think maybe it's WWE is desperate for money, and they're just
that's what I'm thinking.
getting as many ads as possible.
Yeah. It makes sense because last night after the pay-per-view, they didn't even have a recap. What is it, one of those network shows that's after the pay-per-view? Backstage Pass?
Yeah. Yeah.
They didn't even have one after the show, like the post-show, to go after it. And I'm like, maybe they're doing that to cut down on production costs, or maybe they're trying to figure out how they're going to do that. Now they don't have, what's his face there doing it anymore?
Josh Matthews.
Josh Matthews, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, maybe this is their way of trying to get some extra cost out of it, which, granted, okay, I get it, I understand why. But now I see, wow, now they're starting to think outside the box instead of doing their normal same old shtick and incorporate, you know, a little bit more of the adults getting involved into it because maybe they figured that's who has the money, more so than the kids.
Yeah, because the kids don't have the money. It's always the adults. The adults bring the kids, whether it's parents bringing their kids or, you know, family members bringing their siblings, whatever. Adults are the one that has the money. You know, the kids just go. All the kids have to do is get in the car and go, and they buy their John Cena shirt. They cheer for John Cena. You can't see me.
But after the pay-per-view yesterday, now it's actually giving the adults a more reason to tune in. I mean, look at how the chicks talk to each other. Some guys see that as a turn-on. Look at what they're displaying, alcohol. Maybe this is a turn of a new leaf, and maybe something that had to happen so Vince and the rest of the company could get slapped in the face and not cater to PG 24/7. And maybe we're starting to see some transitioning.
Yeah. We'll see what happens with that, but I don't think a new Attitude Era 2.0 is going to happen pretty soon, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, back to Money in the Bank for a second. We just went to the Fandango match, and I think it's time to talk about the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match, a ladder match, you can say. And we all expected who won the match. Well, me and you expected it, not Skits, but yeah, we all knew John Cena was gonna win. I knew it since the poster got released. The link poster got released. So this is something I gotta say here too. I saw these tweets, and someone even tweeted to me yesterday, well, on the Wrestling Heads account, about John Cena winning the title. Like, I understand you people are frustrated. You guys don't like John Cena. I understand that. But don't get me wrong, people. I'm not a John Cena fan. I'm not part of the Chain Gang. I might use some of his catchphrases like, you can't see me, or the championship. I might have done that thing or two, yeah. But I just want to say, like, okay, you people should have expected this was going to happen, you know, like,
yeah.
Brock Lesnar was coming. He's coming to SummerSlam. And you got to put him in a big-time match after he defeated The Undertaker at WrestleMania. The next big match you got to think of as part of it has to be a WWE World Heavyweight title match.
Yeah. And, you know, I said this last Wednesday when we were doing our Money in the Bank predictions. I said Cena was going to win, and Cena won because it makes the most sense. Cena wins, I predict he's going to retain the belt at Battleground, and then Lesnar's going to return. Lesnar's going to beat him at SummerSlam. Now, that makes more sense, and I would be happier with that than if Cesaro won it and then Brock came back and beat him, because Cesaro held the belt for, what, a month? Mm-hmm. Fans would be going ape shit, too. They'd be like, what are you doing with Cesaro? They only give him the belt for a month, and then they give it to part-timer Lesnar? It's like, no. It's like, that doesn't make sense. And you know, Wyatt wouldn't win it. Reigns wouldn't win it. You know, Sheamus didn't really have a chance. Neither did Del Rio. Kane maybe kind of had a chance, you know, depending on the whole Daniel Bryan thing. But I guess that's not happening. You know,
which means they don't see him coming back at SummerSlam, and he's still probably on part-time schedule. Yeah.
Yeah, it made the most sense, and, you know, I expected it. You know, I wasn't shocked. This is what I kind of compared it to. When you're a kid and you mess up and your parents say, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. It's kind of like that. Like, I expected it. Like, I kind of expected it. I'm just disappointed. And it made me sick to hear that John Cena is a 15-time champion. It makes me physically ill to know that he's held that title 15 times. Like, Jesus Christ. Like,
yep.
he's going to pass Ric Flair.
Oh, yeah. Chris has said it before you actually jumped on with us. He said it last year. He's like, at the rate Cena's going before the time he dies, he'll be a 30-time champion. I said that on the Voxer, Tom. You got to get on our Voxer. And I was like, that's the first thing I told the guys. I was like, well, Chris called it. I'm not necessarily his pay-per-view, but he said Cena's going to pass Ric Flair this year, which is evident.
You know, I can understand why they put the belt on Cena. First, to transition it to Lesnar. Number two, he's a safe bet. You know, Cena has been injured in the past, but for the most part, he's a safe guy. You know, he's going to go out there. And also because he's a moneymaker. You know, whether, you know, the older fans admit it or not, he makes money for that teenage kid audience. And, you know, the WWE, you know, just lost $350 million because of this whole network thing. And they haven't, you know, made as many subscribers as they wanted. And, you know, they've put so much money into that network. So, you know, they're trying to, you know, save money and get money back up, which is why they did the releases. And, you know, they're cutting down on production costs. And, you know, Cena's a safe bet, but still, that's a big problem, too, is that the WWE cannot create stars. If WWE created more stars, you know, okay, Daniel Bryan gets injured. Fine. You don't have to put the belt on Cena because blah, blah, blah has been built up as a serious contender. Let's just say Dolph Ziggler, for example. I'm not saying per se, but let's just say they built up Dolph Ziggler as this big-time face threat. And he's always, you know, beating everybody, and he's teaming with Cena once in a while, and, you know, he's
insert Roman Reigns there. Yeah.
If they would have built him up, they could have put the belt on him, Brock versus Ziggler at SummerSlam. It's a great match. Brock wins the title. There you go. But that's the problem, is the WWE cannot create stars anymore.
They're on the road to doing it with Reigns currently.
Yeah, that's why they've been doing good. You know, 2014 has been the year of building up a whole bunch of new guys. But still, the fact that they have to keep going back to Cena, you know, it's getting ridiculous, you know. And, you know,
well,
I'm a Cena hater. I don't like Cena's character. I'm incredibly bored by him. You know, of course, you know, now on Monday Night Raw, he was revealed as the cover on WWE 2K15. It's just like, what the fuck? Like, how much more are we going to have to see of this guy? You know, people, I understand kids still like him, but there's been a lot of people that have been sick of him for just years. This isn't anything new. I mean, we've been sick of him since 2006. You know, 8 years later, they're still shoving him down our throat.
That's not a good sign for someone that they want to have to represent the company.
You know,
I was going to say, that's not a good sign. Go ahead.
Well, I just want to say, look, about a month ago, I don't believe they had any idea or they had no thought of bringing the belt to Cena again. You know, if Daniel Bryan wasn't injured, this wasn't going to happen at all. You know, and I think John Cena was willing to back away, you know, from the WWE title picture, but
he's been begging for it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
You see, he wanted to do other stuff. Like, he wants to work with guys like Rusev, I guess Big E, what I was hearing.
But this is what made me pissed off the most about that Money in the Bank match last night, is that Cena, I could understand. If Cena looked strong in that match, I could understand. And if he, you know, took some bumps, you know, because everybody was taking bumps besides Cena.
He took one.
And it was like, you know, Cena, this is what happened. Everybody was hitting their finishers throughout the match. Cena would come in, do a little bit, then go back out, and then he comes in at the end of the match and, does the AA, and he races up the ladder as if he wasn't in a ladder match. He races up that ladder
because
as if,
he
he
practically
just
wasn't.
got entered into that match. And that's what I hate, is that Cena cannot sell properly. Why can't Cena slowly go up the ladder like everybody else, reach for the title like he was just, in a car accident, and then get the title?
Because in a way, technically, his character, even in real life, his character regardless of the fact that he's Super Cena, his character plus him, he was the one who took the least amount of bumps the whole match. Everyone else was getting dropped on the ladder or falling off the ladder out of the stage. Cena was not one of those guys that was taking crazy bumps. Yeah. So, of course, he's going to be super fresh going into the match.
That star of that ladder match, that world title ladder match, was Randy Orton. It wasn't anybody else. It wasn't Wyatt or Cesaro. It was Randy Orton. Because he went out there, he got busted open, he had to have 12 staples put in his head, and, he did the sick RKO on Cesaro, and, Orton was taking crazy bumps, and he was, he kept going. He looked like he was a legit contender, and he wasn't just superhuman. He looked he
was on fire. He was a machine, but you're right.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. If Cena would have gotten busted open, I know it was an accident, but if Cena would have gotten busted open and looked like he just, went through hell just to get those titles, I would have a little bit of a different opinion. But instead, it's the same thing. It's like nothing has changed. And that's what I just would like to see, You
see, that's what I was asking. That's what I was asking that tweet. That tweet on yesterday about the guy was all pissed off that John Cena won the title. I asked him the same question, okay, who would you put in besides Cena against Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam? Will you put in a Cesaro versus Brock Lesnar? Will you put in a Bray Wyatt versus Brock Lesnar? Will you put in a Sheamus versus Brock Lesnar? Or Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar? Who will you put in? He gave me two names. He gave me Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns. I'm like, Bray Wyatt, I don't know about him against Brock Lesnar, but
not
Roman
yet.
Reigns,
maybe they can do that down the line. But everybody, this is a thing I hate about people, is that they want to put the title on these guys that are getting these big pushes so soon, Cesaro should be champ, right now, and Bray Wyatt should be champ right now. It's like, dude, slow down. They're just getting their big push. Let's let them keep going. They're still in the main event. It's not like Bray Wyatt's in the mid-card facing Adam Rose or, doing whatever. He's in the main event. He was in the main event at Money in the Bank. He's been in main event matches, this year. He was facing John Cena. So let's just give, some time and then put the belt on him, because I would rather see, Bray Wyatt or Cesaro have, an 8-month title reign than a 2-month reign and then you drop it to Brock Lesnar.
All right. Hold on a second. We got a caller on the line. Hold on for 1 second. 865 area code. You're live on Wrestling Heads Radio. Who's speaking?
What's up, Smartcast?
Oh, what's going on?
Oh, nothing much. Just listening to the whole Cena thing, because I've been dealing with this all fucking day on Twitter, dude. It's been driving me up a fucking wall.
Hey. It's just that I know you're frustrated, but just to me, I just feel like Diddy had no choice just to give the belt to Cena.
No, you're 100% right. That's what I mean. It's frustrating. I'm tired of all these people being all, it's so stupid that he's holding the belt again. There was no one else to give it to. You can't give it to Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt, neither of them have held a mid-card title yet. You want to destroy careers? That's how you destroy careers. You give them all the success so early. You're going to destroy them. You can't do that. Man, Cena held mid-card titles before he was in the main event. Come on. So I've been dealing with that, and I've been dealing with all the arguments. It's like, dude, there's no one else to give it to. Just relax. You know, let it play out. Brock Lesnar's going to get it, and then it'll be all better. But it's like the big problem I'm having now is now I'm confused because with the Bryan, he might be out. He might be out for the rest of the year. What the hell happens to Brock Lesnar's reign now? Because everyone knows that when Brock Lesnar had it, he was just going to give it to Daniel Bryan in the end. That was the end game. Now that's not going to happen.
No, actually, yeah,
that could still technically happen, and they just drop it at WrestleMania.
I think Brock Lesnar is still going to do the same thing that I thought he was originally going to do. I think Lesnar's going to take the title off of Cena, and I thought he was going to take the title off of Bryan. And Lesnar is Lesnar's going to go on a rampage. Lesnar is going to go on a rampage, and he is going to look like nobody is going to beat him until.
But how is he going to do that 2 times a year?
Comes in and dethrones.
That's my thing. How is he going to do that 2 times a year?
That's 2 times a year or 3 times a year?
Well, I think he's going to get back into a regular schedule. And the thing is,
you think so?
You don't need Brock Lesnar to appear at every single Raw and every single SmackDown. If he appears at the Raw after Battleground, makes the challenge for Cena, blah blah blah. He wins the title at SummerSlam. Maybe he appears at one more Raw in between then. Okay, so he wins at SummerSlam. He appears at the next night on Raw. He appears at the Raw before the, I think it's Night of Champions is after SummerSlam. And then he appears at Night of Champions. Him appearing not as much as a regular champion is good. It's a good thing because it gives you this thing that it's just like Brock Lesnar could do whatever the fuck he wants. You know, whenever he wants to come on Raw, he can because he's Brock Lesnar. He ended the streak. You know, he's the beast incarnate. And he could do whatever the fuck he wants. So having him appear once in a while, I think it's okay.
I don't see it with the titles. Hey, show up when you want with the WWE, with both titles. Show up when you feel like it. There's no way he's going back on the regular schedule. There's not. It's just not happening.
Oh, no, mine's The Rock. And what's the worst title run in recent history? The Rock. After he beat CM Punk, because he did not appear at pay-per-views, and he did not appear at Raw. It was horrible because he was never seen.
Between Brock and The Rock. The Rock was doing, movie appearances and all that. Brock Lesnar doesn't do much. Brock Lesnar is a guy who's, what Brock Lesnar is known for, if he is not, doing MMA or wrestling, he's a secluded person, Paul Heyman, I think it was on Steve Austin's podcast or Chris Jericho's. Anyway, he talks about how Brock Lesnar is such a secluded person and how Heyman has to give Brock a heads up on when he's going to call him because Brock Lesnar's phone is away from his house. He's a very secluded person, and he's not this very social person, so he doesn't have a lot going on. So I think he could pull of a more full-time schedule compared to The Rock.
He could, but will he? I don't think so.
That's not why he doesn't do it. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say I don't think it's gonna happen, and then it's kind of crazy. Like you guys are saying, Brock Lesnar's gonna win the title. It could probably happen, but I'm hearing some stuff around that he's gonna stay for one more month and Night of Champions. So if that's the way they're going to do it, give the belt to Lesnar at SummerSlam and have him drop it at Night of Champions, and if you can't go here again?
You can't go by these rumors anymore because maybe that was the plan for when Daniel Bryan was the champion. Maybe that was the plan. Yeah. But maybe they've met with Brock and they've said, listen, Brock, we need you to kind of do a more of a full-time schedule for a couple more months up until, the Royal Rumble or whatever. I don't think Lesnar's going to be opposed to it. I don't think Lesnar did come out and say he hated doing the full-time WWE schedule when he was wrestling back in, 2003 and 2004, around that era.
That's not why he's on a part-time schedule at all.
That means he was doing SmackDown, he was doing house shows, he was doing all this different stuff. With this schedule, it would be a little bit more easier on him. He'd have to appear at Raw, pay-per-view. There you go.
That's not why he was on a part-time schedule, though. That's not the reason why he was on a part-time schedule. This is not a rumor. This is fact. is because he has diverticulitis. Diverticulitis is a very, very painful, very painful sickness. He physically can't wrestle once a month. He can't, but just like on UFC, he couldn't even wrestle three times a year. He has to calm it down. Well, he do that. My wife has diverticulitis.
He's diagnosed with it. That's
he's
when it
all
was
better
most
now.
severe. You know, that's why.
He's had surgery to take care of that.
He still has it. My wife has had surgery. My wife has had surgery on her diverticulitis, and she still has it. It still comes up. You can't fix that. You can get rid of the polyps, but you can't fix the problem.
Yeah.
You can take away some of the pain.
Brock Lesnar's just a freak. I'm sure if Brock Lesnar got like cancer, he was just F5 cancer.
Pretty much. Just kick death ass. Yeah. All right. No, I'm going to agree with you there. Even death is afraid to be
Brock Lesnar. I ended the streak. Your cancer, get out.
Hey guys, hold on for a second. I got someone on the other line, and I'm guessing because he's bored because there's a boring Dodger game going on with the Indians with a 1-0 game going on. What's going on, kid?
What up, gentlemen? What is the Dilly-O? Break the wall down! Jericho's back. I know. Your boy Skitch knows what's going on, even though I'm at work. AJ Lee's back.
Yeah.
Fucking John Cena's on the cover of fucking W2K.
You know what's funny? We have not mentioned about all those returns yet, kid.
Yeah,
we're still on Money in the Bank.
We're talking about
the
crazy title picture.
Yeah.
Shoot. Only thing I can say about Raw is I'm finding it funny that everyone's forgetting that the first 2 hours of Raw were total shit, and this last hour was amazing, and everyone's like, "Oh, it was the greatest Raw ever."
The first 2 hours of Raw, it felt like it was like 5 hours. I felt like I was watching.
Oh my god, it was so long, dude. It was so long.
Well, I think
that last hour was amazing.
They just didn't want to blow their load the first or the second hour, so I can kind of see why they did that.
You know, it's real quick. I just want to say, everybody named Mama thought fucking Miz was returning tonight. If you actually thought Miz was returning, jump off a roof, please.
No, they would never give him that much shine. They would never give him that much shine. Never in a million years.
I think they would. I think that the way the WWE looks at the Miz is that he's a media draw. You know, either way. You know, he has good charisma. And he's doing all this different media stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised. The guy main evented WrestleMania. Jesus Christ.
I mean, real quick, John.
You reminded me of that nightmare.
The last time we saw Miz, he was feuding with Wade Barrett. Before Wade Barrett was Bad News Barry. I mean, Miz is still off the roof in the WWE since fucking last year, before the fucking movie with him and Summer Rae. He's still off the roof. He's not the same Miz that he was when, you know, he was a heel and he had Alex Riley as his side little kick, you know? I mean, he's not the same Miz. Miz is still off the roof. I mean,
it seems like he's doing a little Batista Miz right now.
I mean, the question is, was Miz even on the roof, or was he just a talker? I mean, he was just a talker, to be honest.
Best of a bad situation. There was really no one else to put in the main event. Maybe.
But fuck Miz. Let's talk about some shit that's fucking relevant.
Jericho, that's more relevant.
We were just talking before you got on, because we were just talking about the whole Brock Lesnar thing and going back and forth about he's coming back full time. We don't know if that. I don't know if that's gonna happen. Tom thinks it's gonna happen.
Lesnar will be back soon.
Yeah, we're talking about his title run and his
schedule. I don't care if Brock Lesnar's back full time or part time. It is just going to be good. Brock Lesnar is always good to have back because he's just a monster. He is the one guy. He's like the Undertaker in a sense, but kind of different in that Brock Lesnar looks like he could just destroy anybody.
Yep. I see him coming back at Battleground, getting involved in that main event.
But do you see him going full time after he gets the title?
Well, no one's saying full time. It wasn't about full time. It was more than part time. No one ever said full time. I think we all agree that ain't going to happen.
He's not going to go full time. Full time would mean he's doing Raw, SmackDown, House shows.
Oh yeah.
He's not going to do that. He's going to appear on Raw and pay-per-views. That's it.
I see him doing like Raw, and that's it. Raw and pay-per-views. Fuck SmackDown. Just Raw and pay-per-views. That's it.
So basically, the Goldberg part-time, just TV appearances.
That's it.
I don't even see him doing
no SmackDown.
I don't even see him doing TV appearances on Raw that often.
No,
I see him on Raw every week.
Go home Raws and after Raws.
Pretty much.
Well, like I said,
twice a month.
See, you don't need him at every Raw. If you have him at every Raw, it loses the mystique and the value of having Lesnar as this monster. You know, if Lesnar came out on every Raw and just destroyed somebody, it would be like, okay, what's next?
Take away the mysticism. Definitely.
Right.
Yeah, like, well, I mean, my thing is not really who he's going to lose it to, because if he holds on to it till WrestleMania, with the surgery that's coming up, if Daniel Bryan has to do it, he's out. He's out, man. He's out until next year. Cesaro's injured now.
I think this is going to lead to a big-time Cesaro-Lesnar feud, and Cesaro, you know, they were kind of teasing him as a face after he won the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, but once he breaks away from Heyman, he's going to be a big-time face. He's going to be one of the guys.
That was my thing. That's what I said. I said that one that actually makes sense is for Cesaro to win Money in the Bank and win that title and go on to face Brock Lesnar. And then it's like Paul Heyman's like, what do we do? What do we do? I don't know who to choose. On this side, I got the champion. On this side, I got the guy who broke the streak. What do I do here? Who do I choose? And then it's pretty much just Paul Heyman having to make a choice.
Or another thing you can do. I don't know if this is a good idea or a bad one. Turn Lesnar face and have Seth Rollins just cash it in on him?
No. That's it. You cannot have Brock Lesnar as face. Brock Lesnar broke this streak. Everybody hates him.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody hates Brock Lesnar.
I think they hate Heyman more for mentioning it.
Yeah, Heyman's a talker. Lesnar is just a wrestler.
You know, Brock's not strong on the mic. You know, he kind of has a weird voice for a guy his size. You know, he doesn't have a deep, like, Roman Reigns voice. Kind of has a higher pitch voice. So having Heyman there is perfect.
Yeah.
Because, Heyman is the and then Lesnar does the dirty work.
Very womanly scream, too. That when he hit that dude, that one on Raw.
But
what the hell?
If you're in a dark alleyway and you hear that scream, you're like, shit, that's Lesnar. Gotta get out of here.
I'm looking for Paige. If I hear that scream, I'm looking for Paige. I'm like, where's that at? I'm all right with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, speaking of Paige, kind of switching subjects, on Raw tonight, we got the big return of AJ Lee, because there were speculations all over the internet, you know, LOL dirt sheets, that AJ Lee was pregnant, and that's not the case.
No, that's not the case.
Hey, you know what's funny, Tom, that you mentioned that? Because I heard you tell Oscar, you know, you can't believe these rumors. There's a fucking good point. You can't believe these rumors right there. Like, basically, the dirt sheets, they make all of us that believe shit like that look stupid, because AJ, I believe she made her return, and she's the Divas champ, right?
Yeah, she made her return and beat Paige with a roll-up, kind of a surprise victory, kind of like how Paige beat AJ.
I did not like that. I loved AJ's return. That made made Paige's title reign completely irrelevant. Completely
more aggression, started showing the Paige that was on NXT more of the anti-diva thing. But I have to imagine.
I don't know if you want to do that to the future of your talent, though. You don't want to say, oh, by the way, their win was a fucking fluke. Thank you for trying to invest some time into Paige. It's like they neutered her and cut her off at the knees before she had a chance to get going.
And there's no way this can return from it.
Yeah, there's one thing I like about this, though. There's one thing I like about this, though. I do like the heel Paige run they had when she was on SCW. I like that. But if they're going to go that way, like have her turn heel, this is the way I want to start.
This is the right move to do, because, like AJ said in her promo, Paige caught AJ off guard, you know, when she debuted on the main roster the night after WrestleMania. And then AJ returns out of nowhere. Paige didn't expect that. And then it was kind of like AJ turned the table on Paige. So it's not making Paige look weak. It's more of the surprise factor. And it's more of a kind of revenge thing.
Honestly, I think it's good that AJ returned and got her title because now we actually have a fucking feud going on with the Divas, a real, actual good feud. And this is good for Paige. It's going to make Paige look good in the long run because if you have Paige and AJ both do mic work back to back, you know, back and forth, it's going to make Paige look good in the long run too. So
yeah, that's what I was trying to say. That's what I was trying to say. This is going to be a good run for Paige. Look, Paige and AJ, they're going to continue this. They're going to continue, but this time Paige is going to return as a heel, and then people are going to say that Diva's Run title was a joke, so she's going to come out as a heel, break rules like she used to do in SCW. And
maybe they'll do that, but when you think about it, when Trish Stratus or Lita won their first women's title, do you remember that? Do you remember it completely, and do you remember the run they had? No, you remember the big victories they had. You remember the big matches they had. So sometimes it's not about the runs, it's about the matches that they had. And, you know, Paige, she had some decent matches with Alicia Fox and then last night in Naomi.
She had a good match last night.
Yeah. She didn't do anything.
Yeah, but this is what they need to do, is whatever they do with this whole Paige AJ feud, you know, I don't know how long it's going to last. It could last past SummerSlam into Night of Champions. They need to bring Emma back as a face, and they need to redo that Emma Paige feud. You know, except this time, Emma's the face.
They have Emma go over.
The heel.
Well, I could
either way, Emma has to go over in some way, though, whether it be face, whether it be heel. Emma has to be over to be seen as a legitimate contender for the future.
Yeah, that's why they need to bring her back as a legitimate threat. You know, they need to bring her back as if she was in NXT, and that was, you know, she comes out and she's popping bubbles and she's doing, you know, the Emma dance. But when she gets in the ring, you know, she's serious business. And, you know, what they've done with her since she's debuted has been a joke. And, you know, she's not even on TV anymore, so they need to reintroduce her, and they need to bring her back.
Santino, that's what's going to happen. You hook anybody up with Santino, that's what's going to happen. They're going to become a joke. Like, you can't just put... Santino should have been released with the illustrious 11, because he is fucking worthless.
The only time that a woman, when she was paired with Santino, was good was Beth Phoenix.
That Phoenix made Santino look good.
The dominating female. And, you know, Beth Phoenix was stronger than Santino, but that whole Glamazon and Santino thing worked really well.
Yeah,
Beth Phoenix, she can make anyone look good.
Nobody.
About the Emma thing, you know, I agree. I mean, I can see Emma getting involved in this too somehow because, you know, her and Paige are friends. I can see, like, how Paige changed her attitude and all this stuff, and Emma kind of confronts her about, like, what's going on here. And I can see Paige, like, either attacks her or, like, one of those matches she's going to start off, like, she just comes out with the bubbles. Paige comes out in the back and attacks her and puts her out. I can see shit like that, you know?
You know, real quick, I just want to say something about the Divas, and I'm going to run, and then I'll call back. I mean, the Divas, they've been doing big things. Like NXT, you got Charlotte, you know. Alicia Fox has been improving. You got Naomi and fucking Cameron about to start their feud. You got Summer Rae and Layla with their little feud. It's a lot of shit going on with the Divas right now. And AJ's back. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but hey, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace. I'll be back.
All right, go Dodgers.
Yep.
But anyways, that was skits. Let's just see what's going on. But like I said, I'm liking this. I'm liking this whole AJ returning and Paige turning heel. Because next week we're going to see
in
Paige.
A way, would you consider it a double turn? Technically.
Yeah.
You can say that because look how Paige acted the whole time. You know, she wasn't at first. She was not into the whole defending her title, and then watch next week she could blame the fans for doing it. Like, you people made me to this. You know, she's gonna feel like the fans backstabbed her, so she can run her mouth. I mean, trust me, I don't know if you've seen her SCW thing, but I think her heel stuff was better than what she was as a face. I'm hoping
better
they don't fuck it up.
Too.
Yeah, the anti-diva thing. If she comes to do the anti-diva thing again, oh my god. As a heel, when she was teaming up with Eva Lise when she was in the WWE, I mean, damn. Watch out. That's all I gotta say.
Dude, what I'm digging is 2 Divas matches per show. I'm digging that. I like that. It's a step forward, step in the right direction. 2 Divas matches per show. They may suck, but it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, and another thing we mentioned, there was 2 Divas matches in a pay-per-view. When was the last time we saw that?
It's been a minute.
But anyway.
Probably 2006 was the last time.
But anyways, another return did happen, which gets spoiled for us. Chris Jericho did came back, but then he got attacked by the Wyatts, which I was not surprised when I heard those rumors because, remember, who was the one who said Bray Wyatt should be in the main roster? That was Chris Jericho because of the match they had in NXT. You know, he went
Who's
to Hunter
the
and
best at putting over young talent?
Yeah.
Who is the absolute best at putting over young talent? Jericho.
Yeah. So I bet you when WWE and Chris Jericho were talking, like if you're gonna come back, who you want to see? I bet you he said he wants to feud with Bray Wyatt. So him and Bray Wyatt had some history together in a way, but good history. But
that's hard. That's hard for me,
think
man. That's my
favorite. It is going to be a great feud. Imagine, I can't wait to see the promos that those two are going to cut on each other.
Yeah. That's hard for me, dude. That's 2 of my absolute favorites. I'm like, I don't even know who to root for.
Well, at least Jericho's doing what he does best, and that's doing the mentor role. He's been doing that for a while now, and that this comeback just lets him continue doing that. And I hate to say it, but hopefully in the process help put over Miz too, because Miz is just sitting there wasting space. No one's doing anything. Wyatt's going to be the future. I hope they do something with Miz. That way they don't just end up letting him go.
I hope they don't do what they did with Fandango and, like, give Chris Jericho and Fandango a great match. That match was great. I don't care what anyone says. At WrestleMania, Fandango goes over, but still they do nothing with Fandango.
True.
Well, I mean, that match was awesome. That was Johnny Curtis. That wasn't Fandango.
Fandango's thing, I never really understood the big push for him. You know, he's a good mid-card talent, but I never understood the kind of, you know, supposed big push that they were going to do. And then, you know, there was the whole Fandangoing thing, and the WWE killed that. They killed that completely. Like, I've never seen them kill something more than Fandangoing. They were mentioning it every 5 seconds, and you hear JBL, he's Fandangoing, Mago, they're Fandangoing.
All right,
you know why?
Johnny Curtis, man.
You know why all that shit stopped, right? Because that freaking concussion he had. Remember when Curtis Axel won the Intercontinental title? That was supposed to be Fandango's title reign right there, but it didn't happen because he had suffered concussion. And Curtis Axel was in the match last minute, and he won the Intercontinental title.
Yep. Repackage him as Johnny Curtis, man. That's what they got to do. Since Fandango ain't working, repackage him as Johnny Curtis.
Or give him a serious push.
Yeah, well, not even that. It's like I can't take him seriously. I can't. I mean, when he was on the pre-show or when he was on the pay-per-view, and the first words out of his mouth was, "I love triangles." I'm like, dude, I can't take you seriously. Go away.
It fucking sounds like Val Venus. That motherfucker sounds like Val Venus and shit. Like what?
He did the heavy breathing.
That was funny as shit. Fandango. I mean, right now Fandango is the luckiest guy. He gets to make out with Layla, gets to make out with Summer Rae. Come on, he's living the dream.
Dolph Ziggler's got Summer Rae now.
Yeah, Dolph Ziggler's not making out with Summer Rae.
Dude. That wasn't making out, dude. They were trying to eat each other. That was strange.
That was not PG.
That was not PG.
That is hint number 3 in the past 48 hours.
What?
I said that was not PG. That was another hint. That was the 3rd time in 48 hours.
Yeah. Well, the boob talk, the beer commercials got me. I hated that segment, but I was.
We were just talking about that.
I even turned to my wife and was
beer.
like, "Whoa,
wait
a
tea.
second."
It's iced tea.
Alcohol, either way. alcohol either way. And I even looked at my wife and was like, whoa, that's weird.
And I don't get that. Twisted Tea
doesn't make any
should not be aimed at guys. Twisted Tea is like Mike's Hard Lemonade, where it's not aimed at guys.
It's like
aimed at
chick drink.
It's aimed at like girls who first start drinking and they can't handle the taste of alcohol.
That's wasn't my problem. My problem was having Santino in the segment. That was my thing, because Santino is the kids' person. I know Cena's more the kids' person, but Santino is the kids, and having him drink the alcohol was kind of like, hey, kids, good old tea. It's Jesus juice.
It's Twisted Tea.
Jesus juice.
Listen, if they start promoting Jack Daniels, I'll be fine with it.
Yeah. Jim Beam. Jack Daniels, okay. That's made right where I live, so we're good.
You know what? Let Vince lose another $350 million, then he'll probably be open to take there you go, submissions from Johnny Walker.
Trojan too.
There you go.
Trojan commercial. Then Danny go, I love Trojans. Be great.
Pretty much.
Oh man.
Pretty much.
Dolph Ziggler comes out of a storage room with Summer Rae. He's like, there's only one condom for the show off, and that's Trojan.
Hey, if you know what, I remember something kind of like that happened back in the day with him and God, what was that other blonde who just quit?
Shoot.
The one with the busty one with the ass. She used to be a bodybuilder.
Caitlyn,
yeah. That happened way back in the day on SmackDown.
Dude, I
came out of like a closet and they were like making out, all that stuff.
Yeah, it was Caitlyn.
Yeah. Good old Caitlyn. I actually like Caitlyn, man. She was awesome. I was sad when she quit.
Heck yeah, I thought she was the best looking one there.
Well, not bad. She was also great in the ring. I mean, she actually had talent, you know. Yeah. Good old Celeste Bonin. I think that's her name, right?
That's literally her last name, Bonin. Yep.
Bonin. Good old Celeste Bonin. So in the phone book, she's Bonin Celeste. Awesome.
Oh man.
What did you guys think overall of this Raw? Would you say it was, was it a good Raw? Did it kind of get over the hangover of, the drunkenness that was Money in the Bank?
Oh man, better than Money in the Bank.
Before I answer, I just want to say that they did announce the main event for Battleground, which is going to be John Cena defending the title against Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, and Kane in a 4-way. So this Raw was pretty good. I mean, it made up, you can say this should be a Raw after a pay-per-view. Raw should be like something like this. And,
true. But does the last hour make up for the first 2 hours of shit? That's
I
my
would
problem.
say yeah. Jericho turning and then
fair enough.
Setting up the Bray Wyatt feud, big mark-out moment. AJ coming back. I didn't expect her to come back this early.
Yeah.
My thing was the Jack Swagger thing too, though.
And of course at the end of Raw, it was Roman Reigns and John Cena versus Kane and Randy Orton. Ended in a DQ when Kane hit Cena with the steel steps. And then we saw a possible cash-in by Rollins, and then Ambrose came in and interfered and stopped the whole thing like he said he was going to do. And I thought, the ending, it was a good ending to Raw. But, the first, they need to figure out a way to kind of make you go, okay, the first opening segment of Raw starts up on a high. And then you can bring it down a little bit, do some matches. And then you need to do something, again, to bring it back up, bring it back down a little bit, maybe do a comedy segment or whatever. Yeah, then you have to bring it back up, bring it back down a little bit, and then end it on a high note at the end of Raw.
Their philosophy, in a way, their philosophy is they kind of did that because the majority of their fans don't have the WWE Network, and they're not following the news like we are.
I mean, the first segment was John Cena and the Authority, and then John Cena being revealed as the cover for 2K15. Holy shit!
Okay.
It was a
Triple
boring,
H, dude. Triple H killed that promo.
The only thing that saved that segment was Triple H and Stephanie, because he had Triple H mocking Cena with the, basic thugonomics thing, and Triple H was hilarious, and then you had Stephanie lip-syncing Cena's theme song, which she is the best heel in the WWE right now. Stephanie is fucking hilarious.
Yeah. She sent off Vicky in the perfect way.
Yeah,
they couldn't have done Vicky any better.
Yeah, definitely. And tomorrow on the network, they're going to have a special on her Kruger countdown, and I think I have more stuff about her. But anyways, before we go on commercial break, Marquez, you got any plugs and anything you want to give out? Yo,
sorry. That was my dog. Yeah, I had to get my dog. He was getting himself in trouble. Okay. Anyway, sorry. YouTube, Smartcast, SmarkCast, and my Twitter is @-Darren, MINUSDARRIN.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, thanks for calling in, man. It was a great conversation with you, man.
No problem.
Pretty cool.
One thing I did forget to ask, though. I did forget to ask you one thing, though. Did you really think that Swagger had anything to do with how great that Swagger and Rusev thing was? Because I thought it was all Zeb Coulter. I thought Swagger just stood there.
Well, I think Swagger plays the part, too. Swagger's kind of like the Brock Lesnar to what, Heyman is. In that sense, Swagger is the
muscle to the mouthpiece.
Zeb Coulter runs his mouth.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
He is the muscle to the mouthpiece.
Yeah, make sure, because I thought
look how the crowd chanted. The crowd didn't chant "We the People." The crowd chanted "Let's go Swagger." They wanted to see Swagger kick Rusev ass.
My surround sound went crazy when they said "We the People." I mean, whenever you hit a really high-pitched high and it goes "Wee," it did that. They go "We the People," Wee! And I was like, whoa. And I was like, that was probably the loudest pop they had all night. And I was like, that was great. Even for AJ, even for Jericho, it was above both of them. I was like, dang, it's cool though. But that was the only question I really had beyond anything. So, but yeah, thanks for having me on again.
Call in for the Shoot the Shit. You'd be cool to talk with us during our whatever show. Like we literally just talk everything.
Yeah, I wanted to call in so bad to talk Ring of Honor. The freaking best in the world pay-per-view was easily the best pay-per-view I've ever seen in the history of me watching wrestling. And I wanted to talk about that, but I had school, man. So
well, we could bring it up on Wednesday.
No, all right, cool. I'd love to talk about that, dude. All right. But thanks for having me on again, man.
Thanks, man.
Hey. All right. That was Smartcast. Cool-ass dude. Love the guy. But anyways, we got to move on. But before we move on, we got to take a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
What's going on, everybody? This is the Masterpiece, Chris Masters, and you're listening to Wrestling Heads Radio. Yeah.
Yo, welcome to WH Radio. Today's show is brought to you by the good people down at WrestlingRambles.com. For the latest in wrestling news, in-depth blog, and hot topic discussion, hit up WrestlingRambles.com. Remember, it's not just any ramble, but a Wrestling Rambles. WrestlingRambles.com. And also special thanks to Ring Rust Radio and FLTDWrestling.com. Thank you for listening.
Yeah. Welcome back. Thank you for all the fans cheering for me. Thank you. Yes, I do have fans, by the way. Before we went to commercial break, I did send Smartcast my photo with Caitlin, see what he said, what he can respond. So hope he gets jealous. I know Bruce did. So, but anyway, before we move on, I just want to announce if you fucking Bruce, if you didn't follow us on Twitter and you did not know that we have a guest on Wednesday, and our guest on Wednesday is going to be Celicia Sparks. You see her around Ring of Honor and other indie shows around, but she's going to join us on Wednesday. So yeah, check that out. You don't want to miss that at all, and hopefully Tom don't want to miss that because he never interviewed a female chick before. Hey, it's okay. afraid of girls, dude. It's okay.
No. I mean, Candice LeRae's my girl. Can't go behind her back.
Yeah, right. You wish, buddy. You wish. But anyway,
I do wish,
yeah, like I said, you wish, man. But anyways, speaking about Ring of Honor, they just announced that about a match going on, a special event. It's going to be a big 6-man tag coming up. It's going to be Adam Cole teaming up with Matt Hardy and Mike Bennett against Michael Elgin, the new Ring of Honor champ, and his boys. What's his name? Hanson and Rowe, the tag team, the two big dudes. Yeah, this is sort of, it seems like, a Ring of Honor, they need to start setting up something. So it's one of those big shows, but it might start up something. What's your thoughts of this thing going on Ring of Honor, Tom?
I figured, they're not going to go right away into Elgin and Cole again. So, I expected, some filler matches, and this should be good.
Yeah, and just for our listeners know, this is actually going to take place in Minneapolis, Minnesota, on July the 12th. So at the Hopkins. Sorry if I got it wrong. If you're from Minnesota listening, but Hopkins Illingsauer Center. If I mispronounce, I'm sorry. But yeah, I think the show's actually called. There's going to be a 6-man at the Aftershock. So yeah, they announced this big match going on that's going to happen, and this.
I thought some more matches are going to be announced. So keep an eye out on Ring of Honor's Twitter, on their website.
Yeah.
If you're in the Minnesota area, keep an eye out.
Yeah, because it says also scheduled to appear in this event is Ring of Honor TV champ Jay Lethal, the tag champs Red Dragon, Kevin Steen is scheduled to be there, the Briscoes, the Decade, Cedric Alexander, Silas Young, Matt Taven, ACH, and Wannabe is going to be there too. So, yeah, more matches should be announced maybe tomorrow. Maybe we could discuss it at Shoot the Shit. Hopefully they announce the fucking full card. But, yeah, we'll see what happens. But, yeah, Ring of Honor, baby. Also, I don't know if you guys heard that Dixie Carter actually got injured during the Impact tapings in New York. Spoiler
alert, if you do not want to know what happens at the Impact tapings.
Yeah, if you don't want to know, maybe put it down, the volume down for I'll say maybe 5 minutes, because I think we have a little bit, so maybe around 5 minutes. Put the volume down for a bit. But like I said, what's his name? Yeah, this is how we're gonna start off. Well, if you've been watching Impact lately, it's been teased that Bully Ray is gonna put Dixie through a table, which she did. Well, actually, it did happen during the TNA tapings, which Bully Ray put her through a table, but then she got injured. According to Bully, he tried to be cautious her, just like what he did when he put Mae Young through the table. But yeah, he put her through the table, but she actually got injured. I don't know how it happened. But I you know what sucks though, that TNA should have some kind of practice going on, because she's not a professional wrestler. Mae Young was a different story, because she was a professional wrestler, and she probably knew what the hell to do. Dixie Carter didn't, and look what happened. So,
well, I mean, I think, either way, I think, Dixie Carter wanted to go through with it. It was probably her decision. She probably said, yeah, I'll go through the table. And she knows the risks. She might not be a wrestler, but she knows the risks that are involved. So, something like this does happen. I don't think she's mad at Bully. I don't think something's going to happen from there's something that happens.
Yeah.
So props to Dixie Carter. I don't talk positively about Dixie Carter very often, but big props on her for doing that.
Yeah, and like I said, man, they should have practiced it. Let's go back to Michael Cole about that match he was going to have with Jerry Lawler. He actually took some practice, taking bumps and all that stuff. He was really participating to do that. They
probably did some practice. I think I read that, they were doing it on, some mats and stuff. So they must have practiced it a little bit. It's just, when you're doing it in front of an audience, anything can happen. It might not go as exactly as how you practiced it. So.
Yeah, definitely. It was just weird that I don't know. I just don't know how to even.
And you know what? If anything's going to come out of this, it's just going to be respect from the wrestling fans that she did this, for TNA.
Exactly.
And by the way, Tom, did you even go to these TNA shows?
I did not get the chance because of work and other things. I couldn't go to the TNA shows, but I had friends who went. They were sending me pictures and videos. And, of course, they did tapings Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, which, they're all going to take place, a month to 2 months from now. It's going to be spread out. I'm looking forward to seeing them because I heard very positive things from these tapings. I heard, there were some great matches on here. All 3 nights of tapings went very good. And, we're going to possibly see Dixie Carter go through a table. Who doesn't want to see that?
Yeah, definitely. And
I've been very down on TNA, but I think this is something I'll look forward to seeing within the next couple months.
When is the last time you could have said that about TNA?
Not very often.
The one time I remember saying that in the past year was hearing that Samoa Joe and Austin Aries were going at it. Besides that, I have to commend TNA of actually getting us interested, A, and then B, like you said, a lot of respect and a lot of props is going to come from Marks, the community, just even wrestlers in general who may have been looking down on the product because they're either work for them and have low morale or they just haven't heard good things for the company, that they actually see one of the owners going out of the way to put their body on the line. And everyone always gave props to Vince McMahon, to being insane, crazy, to being a genius, and then also putting his body on top of the line to do it. I hope this is a major turning stone for TNA because everyone knows about the concerns that they have regarding TV. And that's why they went all out by, renting out Hammerstein, by trying to get as many people in.
I said they needed to have these New York shows be big shows. And, I read some reports, and there is some bullshit. There is some screwy stuff, and I won't spoil it right now, but there's some former WWE superstars who debut on TNA. I'm sure it's going to come up on TV, but the guys who debuted it were so random, and it was out of nowhere. When I read that, I kind of shook my head a little bit. But when you look at the overall scheme of things, that is a little bit bullshit, but the overall thing is a positive thing for TNA, hopefully.
Yep, I hope it does. Sorry, I didn't interrupt, but I hope this does help secure them another contract with Spike TV, because I would hate for them to lose that TV contract they have, because everyone feels, and I think that's pretty much the general consensus, is if they don't have a TV deal, they're dead. And I hope this was good enough for them to secure a TV deal.
Well, I think they were going to get a TNA deal, a TV deal anyway, because Spike TV, even though TNA hasn't been on its highest, they still get consistent, 1 ratings, which for Spike TV is good.
Yeah.
Because, Spike TV, all they do is show Cops reruns and all that. So when they get something like TNA, they, whether the product is good or bad, they don't care. They're just going to keep it on TV for the little ratings that they do bring.
If that's the case, they would have already re-signed, but I think they were concerned that the ratings were so low that they were thinking of going with someone else who would have been cheaper, you know, like another Cops rerun, because Spike would say, hey, you know what, the ratings are going to be the same, it's just going to cost us less. And I'm glad that TNA had some positive news coming out of their tapings, and I hope this leads to them getting another, let's hope.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's see how those New York shows end up on TV and everything. But about those XW returns, I'm not going to spoil it either, but, hey, Tom, it wasn't their fault. I can say that.
Oh, you dumbass.
I guess you guys got it, who I'm talking about. But anyways, I actually watched Impact. You know, everyone knows Bobby Lashley's the new TNA World Champ, but this is one thing I'm liking. Bobby Roode as a face now. It just seems to me, and I know Sketch was on this show talking about why Bobby Roode is not in the world title picture. I mean, I could see that happening pretty, not soon, but it wouldn't surprise me he wins the Bound for Glory series and gets a title shot at Bound for Glory.
I agree.
Yeah. Especially with the face turn. And, yeah, I could see him going against maybe Lashley, even that's not sound like a favor Bound for Glory main event, but I can see him going against Lashley or Eric Young, like a friendly rival thing to Bound for Glory.
This is one thing I have to say. TNA did not play, oh, hey, let's copy WWE, like a lot of people complain that they do when they gave Lashley the belt. I'm glad that they didn't, and they didn't wait until after the Money in the Bank to do a title switch. I'm glad that they went out and did something on their own instead of saying, hey, let's follow the trend. Let's have a short little bearded guy play the underdog and do that for a couple months, you know, and everyone was like, oh, wow, you had EY or Eric Young do the same thing after Daniel Bryan, which everyone says, okay, blatant knockoff. Again, I'm glad that they got Bobby Lashley, even though it's someone that marks hate or the community hates. I still like the fact that they ventured out, they experimented, they did something on their own. Now let's see Bobby Lashley become a major heel with MVP becoming the mouthpiece and cause some major havoc and have some deserving face actually win it. And hopefully let it be a TNA original. That way they can claim, you know, we're making this guy and putting him over as a major star. Not someone like Austin Aries, not someone like Anderson. Make someone be a TNA original. Take out Bobby Lashley after MVP helps establish Lashley as this major heel. That way TNA can say, yeah, we helped develop this star from the ground up 100%.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I got some breaking news to mention. It was actually reported a little bit earlier, but Cesaro has suffered injury, some kind of eye injury. They don't know if it's serious or not, but he injured his eye during his match with Kofi Kingston earlier today at Raw. And hopefully this injury is not something that will keep him out on the shelf for a bit. But this actually was reported from WWE.com, actually. So hopefully this is something that that doesn't keep him out of Battleground, because he did mention that he was going to be in the Battle Royal to win the Intercontinental Champion and possibly the favorite to win it all. But like I said, hopefully this doesn't hurt Cesaro. Let's just hope and wait and see how long this injury lasts. But we just gotta we'll keep you up to date about Cesaro's injury. If anything, just check out WrestlingHeads.com. But hopefully, like I said, it's not something that they can cost Cesaro possibly an Intercontinental title run. So
yeah, that would suck.
Yeah, that will suck ass if we miss out on that. But yeah.
So moving on, I wanted to kind of get your opinion, both of your opinions on this that was reported over the weekend. I know we're running out of time, but apparently it's been kind of leaked that the WWE is going to be holding a press conference in the next couple months announcing the signing of Kenta.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know what you guys think of this, because the last time they did this for an international star, it was the original Sin Cara, a.k.a. Mystico, And what do you guys feel about this? Do you think that this is something? Do you think that them doing this press conference and announcement means that Kenta's going to be a big star, that they have hopes in him, or is it something just to, gain attention that they don't plan on doing anything?
All right.
Both.
Before I comment, I might ask you a question about this, but this is going to take place July 12th in Japan. But my question to you is that, all right, because to me, Kenta's good, but I don't know. I don't want to knock him down or anything, but I just I'm afraid. I don't want to see lightning strike twice, but I don't want to end up like the original Sin Cara. Because the reason why the original Sin Cara didn't work because they didn't put him on developmental. I prefer seeing maybe putting and for a little bit.
I'm going to tell you why I think Kenta's going to be a whole lot different. I think just the fact that they're going to announce this, because when Yoshitatsu came to the WWE, they didn't hold a press conference for that. They just kind of debuted the guy. This is the first time ever a Japanese star is getting announced to be signing with the WWE. And, Kenta is a huge, huge star over in Japan, and he is one of the best over in Japan. Now, the difference between him and the original Sin Cara is the original Sin Cara did not want to learn the WWE way, and he did not want to learn English. Kenta is a huge WWE fan. This is something he is very, very passionate about. Excuse me. So if he has to, he is going to go down to the developmental for a little bit, kind of learn the ways, the difference between Japan rings, WWE rings. He's going to kind of transition from that strong style to a more WWE style while still kind of incorporating a little bit of that strong style. And he's going to be working on his English. Because, maybe they'll keep him silent for a little bit. Maybe they'll put him with a manager. But eventually he's going to have to learn how to speak some English. And I think he's going to fare much better than the original Sin Cara because he's very passionate about what he's going to do.
Yeah, I'm saying before we continue on, Skits is back on. What's going on, Skits? And what do you think about this whole Kenta thing?
I was actually going to ask Tom a question. If they do pair Kenta with a manager, who do you think the perfect person will be?
That's tough. I think if Paul Heyman's not doing anything, if Brock Lesnar's out of the picture, and Cesaro's probably going to be gone from him soon, I think Kenta would be a great guy. I think Paul Heyman could hype him up, saying that he is a brand new Paul Heyman guy. He's something like the American audiences have never seen. He's going to be somebody that the WWE roster has ever seen, and he's going to hype this guy up. But I don't know who else they could pair him with.
Yeah, there was a little rumor around. Like I said, I'm not high on this or saying it's true or not, but I was hearing that they were speaking about re-signing Sakamoto and have him pair with Kenta. But so far I haven't heard anything about if they re-sign Sakamoto. But if they do that, I actually will be fine with that. But I don't want him to be like the same Sakamoto you saw when he was with Tensai. He just bows down and shit. No. Like, I think that was perfect. Because of that, what they were doing with Tensai was good because you had, Sakamoto wasn't talking. He was just a silent guy who was introducing Tensai, but, WWE didn't take, Tensai's whole thing seriously, so. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but if this guy could talk for Kenta, then I think that will work. But there's not that much really a lot of Asian managers out there. I mean, the last one you could think of is Master Fuji. But
that's what I was thinking of. Probably one of the best managers of all time, period.
Yeah, but there's no one like him right now, so that's a really good question. We'll see what happens. Or let's say he comes in and doesn't even say a word.
I'm just hoping they hype this. I'm hoping they hype Kenta as this, not this comedy character or not this stereotypical Japanese thing. I hope they just keep him as Kenta, in which he just kicks ass.
You know what I like about what they're doing, though, Tom? I like how they ought to give him a press release and everything. They usually don't give, guys they sign, like, a press release and stuff like that. Like, this is something different, you know what I mean? Like, it makes, like, the audience eyes, on the WWE, like, oh, who's this guy? Like folks that have never heard of Kenta, like, who's this guy? The WWE are surely hyping this guy up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you know what? With CM Punk gone, we could possibly see Kenta doing the go to sleep. I'm not banking on it, but.
It's possible. It's possible that can happen. And it's funny because I was talking to somebody today, and they were asking, do you even see Punk coming back? I mean, now with AJ back, and with Del Rio's comments about Punk, he can see him coming back. It's very possible Punk could still come back. So let's not sleep on CM Punk still. I know a lot of people are probably sick and tired of hearing from him, but don't be surprised if one day his music just pops on TV. What the fuck is that noise?
I don't know. It's not me, but I just want to say that, remember what I said a few months ago? I'm predicting his return will be the night after WrestleMania 31. So I'm still on roll on that, man. But anyways, we have a few minutes left. I think it's time we should give her the plug.
Damn, I guess can't even be on a fucking show for at least fucking 10 minutes.
Hey,
can we go
world?
Can we go overtime?
Working a boring ass game.
Hey, I gotta get this money over here. But it is what it is. Did we announce who's gonna be on the show Wednesday?
Yes, I did.
For sure.
You feel like you're plugged already.
Fuck it, let's go ahead and pull these plugs out real quick. I just want to give a shout out to everybody that's writing on WrestlingHeads.com, that contributes to WrestlingHeads.com. Make sure y'all check that website out. It's a beautiful website. A lot more shit to come. Follow us at Wrestling Heads. Follow me, WH Gets. And I'm on Facebook, too, Instagram, Wrestling Heads Instagram, too, Vine, all that shit. I'm going to let these gentlemen go ahead and share their shit.
All right, go ahead, Bruce.
All right, follow me at Bruce Kraft Jr., Kraft spelled with a K, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, what else, LinkedIn, Tumblr, Google+, YouTube, take your pick.
The guys are genius, by the way, people. Work with them.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, go ahead, Tom.
All right, all you got to do is follow me on Twitter at Tommy Not Dreamer. I don't have all those other fancy things just yet, but I will. I'll have all those fancy social media things.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
And you can follow me at Sinister632 on Instagram and Twitter, and I guess Vine as well. Check out my classic match of the week. My week was it's funny. Saturday was the anniversary, the 14th anniversary of the Hell in a Cell match between Mankind and Undertaker. So that was my classic match of the week. And and go Dodgers. And I don't know about the Lakers getting LeBron James, but it's being reported right now. But if LeBron want to come to LA, come down then. Until Wednesday.
Fucking Oscar. This fucking guy right here. WrestlingHeads.com, people. That's what the fuck you need to check about. Fuck the Dodgers and all that other shit. Just go to WrestlingHeads.com.
Yeah, check out WrestlingHeads.com. And Dodgers are in first place in NL West. And we're out. Peace.
Wow. Bye.
Bitches.
Fuck you, suck it.